CNBC TV 18's Alisha Sachdev and Arundhati Ramanan report that worries are mounting since these conditions are not likely to improve anytime soon. Take a look.
Auto sales have dropped for the 10th month in a row. Passenger vehicle sales were down 20.5% in May, the sharpest decline in 18 years, and commercial vehicle sales have dropped 10.74% year-on-year. This is pushing dealerships across the country into a corner because inventories are rising and with it, costs. Dealers are not able to get credit as easily as before, and that is a double whammy.
Earlier, the dealer community used to enjoy a lot of unsecured funding, and they used to get access to a lot of funds, which currently, due to a lot of reasons across the last 1 year, I believe, have become more stringent. Across the industry, we've seen a pullback from finance companies, so which has affected the dealer liquidity situation.
Financing definitely is becoming a challenge, and I think NBFCs, banks, both are becoming very risk sensitive. So I think dealers have been asked to give collaterals even for inventory funding.
The pain doesn't end there. Falling real estate prices have meant that banks are reevaluating old collateral, meaning dealers are not getting as much money for their assets as they once were. Things probably won't get easier anytime soon.
So dealership, yes, some risk aversion has happened in last 6 months, yeah. And that may continue for some time, yeah. So wholesale or dealer finance book, if we are talking about, again, I'm not saying it's a liquidity issue, okay, but it's a more of a banks have become a bit cautious so far as that particular space is concerned.
Rising funding costs and lackluster business has already pushed several dealerships to down shutters. As many as 10 dealerships have gone out of business in the Delhi NCR region alone. Even offers for an extended interest-free loan to fund inventory like the one Maruti's learned to have offered its dealers are not helping much, because since April, inventory levels have crossed 40 days for cars and 60 days for two-wheelers.
For some auto dealers, unsold vehicles have piled up to such an extent that they're looking to buy or rent additional land just to park them. Now, there has been some relief with major car makers like M&M, Maruti Suzuki and Hyundai rejigging production schedules. But until real demand picks up again to enter the fast lane, this is only just a bandage and not a cure. In Mumbai, Alisha Sachdev.
Okay, problems galore for the auto sector. But for now, let's get back to the markets, because in less than 5 minutes from now, we'll have the opening rates. Manisha Gupta, commodities editor, is here to give us a quick roundup of all that's happening in the commodities space today. Hi, Manisha. Good morning.
Morning, Sonia. Thank you for that. Well, we have seen the U.S. crude oil prices decline a bit in the Asian markets right now, and this is after Iran is downplaying the kind of sanctions U.S. has put on their leadership and on the military officials as well. In the recent days, remember, we have seen U.S. put a cyber campaign against Iran. There has been a conversation about military attack as well, and the markets did run up because of that. So finally, when we did see sanctions come in and Iran downplaying it, you have seen some profit taking come in for crude as well. So even as the global supplies have declined by 2% in this year, there are demand concerns as well, which are putting pressure on prices. If you look at the latest US data, whether it has been manufacturing or services sector, both have come in on the weaker side, and that weighs on the commodities as well. So not just the crude oil prices that is under it because of that, you also have seen the metal prices actually decline a bit because of the US data. The only expectation that the markets have right now is from the G20 summit, where they are looking forward to some positive news coming in from the US and China trade talks, and that is what perhaps is keeping the markets on the sidelines. In the meanwhile, you also have seen a decline in US dollar. That in turn has been slightly supportive, and it also is about the kind of run-up that we have seen in the gold prices, trading at a 6-year highs in the global markets and an all-time high in the Indian markets, where we have crossed above 34,200, which was the last time gold prices made a record high.
Okay, Manisha, thanks a lot. Here's gold at all-time high. By the way, Bitcoin is the other one which is surging this year. In fact, has been the best asset class. Let's take the 9-10 calls. The Nifty is down 18, the Sensex up 9, and the Bank Nifty down 34. So let's see. Once again, that 11,650 level would come in the question. Ashwini, what's the call on the index and what's the 9-10 call?
See, all sectors other than Nifty infrastructure are in the red. So while Nifty may be down only 20 points, the kind of force we have on the downside could lead to some sort of breakdown. So Ujjivan 910, Ujjivan is a sell with a stop of 291, target of 278.
Okay, sell call on Ujjivan coming through. Sudarshan, what about you? You do have a sell on Tata Steel, and that is the biggest Nifty loser right now. But what else would you be looking at?
Well, I will be looking at going short in the Nifty, and once it goes below 11,670, yesterday's low, and sell Tata Steel with a stop at 492 and a target at 475.
Okay, and Nitesh, what's your 910 call?
I have a metal name as well. JSW Steel is a sell with a stop at 263 for targets of 245 to 46.
Okay, by the way, the other stock to watch would be Z Entertainment. Now, the rate that you're seeing on the screen is essentially, like we discussed in closing bell as well, it's down 4 rupees because that's where the last traded rate was yesterday, the last 5-minute decline, but the averaging took the stock back to 340. So this rate on the screen is actually technically the last traded rate that you had yesterday. So that would be an interesting stock to track. So Darshan, any thoughts on Z looking at the charts?
Yes, I've explained earlier that all rallies in Z are bear market or dead cat bounce rallies. It's going lower. So any small rally is a short selling opportunity.
Okay, just want to pull up Yes Bank. Perfect 111 on Yes Bank in pre-open right now. Ashwini, any trades here?
See, Yes Bank is also moving lower other than that one day, and it will get back to the 2-digit mark again.
Okay, well, it's not too far away from that. A couple of more stocks perhaps that we just want to look at. You do have all the metal names that are under pressure. Cox & Kings is down about 8%. It's had a really rough week, as we know. And for the year as well, almost 80% gone on Cox & Kings.
The finished stock yesterday also, and I think there was this rating downgrade from Brickwork. So the market perhaps sensed it. It was circuit down yesterday. And just one-way decline.
Yes. Absolutely. Even Syntex Plastics, giving it company, it's been a one-way decline for that stock as well ever since that debt issue cropped up about defaulting on its payment. McLeod Russell as well. The list is pretty long here. Mitesh, anything else from the frontliners that catches your eye, either for a long or short trade?
See, I think apart from metals, I would now look at IT stocks. That's one sector which possibly has some hope of going up. And in case the market was to be pulled up, I think if Infosys can hold 735, 733 zones and then try to head towards 765, I think IT could play a critical role because the rest of the pack is slightly looking shaky, particularly metals and auto.
Okay, on Z there was this related party transaction. We're still trying to figure out what that was. Trade receivables from Dish TV, that's jumped. From Citi, it's jumped. And there's been loans and advances to all infra subsidiaries. Not saying that there's anything wrong, but just saying that the related party transaction details had come post the market closing yesterday. So we'll try to analyze some of those numbers, but that would be perhaps, I think that could well be one of the stocks of the day today, going by the way it moved yesterday. Let's see, just about 10 seconds left for markets to open. It should be a flat start with negative bias, and then we'll take it from there. Tata Steel and JSW Steel looks like could be the top two losers. The Nifty is opening 20 points lower, 22 points now. 11,670 is what we have, 668. So getting towards that 650 important support mark, 11,665 now is what we have so far. Trying to defend the 11,650 mark. The top loser indeed is Z Entertainment. That straight away started 3% lower. Then of course you have Tata Steel and JSW Steel both down about 2%. Indiabulls Housing also down about 1.5%. UPL has started lower, down about 1.5%. Now the Nifty is slipping quite a bit. In fact, 40 points down, 11,659. Now on the index, 657. And the Bank Nifty is below the 30,500 mark. That perhaps could have some repercussions. But for now, it's across the board downturn that you're seeing. Quickly talk about the winners as well. There are very few. ONGC is up about 0.8%. And then you're talking about just 1/3 of 1% like NTPC, Bharti Airtel. But the Nifty is about to break that 11,650 mark. And the top losers are Z Entertainment, Tata Steel, JSW Steel. Yes Bank is beginning a bit of a decline once again, Indiabulls Housing. and UPL is down about 1.5%. Tech Mahindra down about 1%. IndusInd Bank down about 1%. 11,653 now as we speak on the Nifty and 30,472 on the Nifty Bank.
Oh, absolutely. It's a weak opening for the mid-caps as well. The index is down about 50 points. The advanced decline ratio is weak. The entire screen is littered with all these debt-ridden companies that are defaulting on their payments. Cox and Kings, once again, a new lifetime low on the back of, that care downgrade that came in. Syntex Plastics, Syntex Industries, that whole group down about 3 to 5 odd %. Entire ADAG group smashed once again. Rel Power, Rel Cap, etc. Metals are having a very rough day today. So Tata Steel, JSPL, SAIL, JSW Steel. Steel prices have been under a lot of pressure. So a lot of brokerages, scaling down their target prices on metal stocks. What's Imami doing? Let's just get the stock up for you. Yesterday, of course, it was under pressure, but today there's a bit of a relief, a bit of a bounce back coming through. Piramal Enterprises as well, a stake sale in Shriram Capital is being eyed. Perhaps more money could come in. Piramal Enterprises up almost about 1 odd % right now. On the upside though, apart from Imami and Piramal, Jet Airways is all over the place. It's up today about 1.5%. Couple of these names, Cox and Kings also now making an attempt to recover, so it's getting a bit volatile for the market. You can just say that the start is weak. It looks like there's a bit of a breakdown, especially in the mid caps. The Bank Nifty is now down more than 100 odd points, so not looking good there. Anything else that you've spotted, Surbhi?
No, I think you've covered most of the major ones that are moving. I mean, there's not much upside to speak of. Maybe a odd Muthoot Finance, Oberoi Realty. Some sort of buying over here, but really it's a day which is littered with losses. Arvind is losing more ground, 2.5% as we're speaking. Cadila, Granules, Gati, IRB. It is just a long list of losers on the mid-cap screen. However, Anuj, on the index, at the index level, after testing 11,650, there seems to be some hint of trying to hold that level. I don't know if that lasts.
Yeah, I think it's being defended, 11,650. It's it's going to be a fight around that zone. It's not going to give up easily. And the Bank Nifty as well from 30,450 has swiftly bounced to 30,500. The mid-cap index is about to turn into the green. The problem for the market is that the rallies have become very vulnerable to be sold into. So that always is going to be a problem point. ONGC, by the way, is making a move, and a decent move now, 1.5% higher on that stock. And there's some short covering happening on Eicher Motors and Mahindra & Mahindra. In fact, Mahindra saw that yesterday as well. And today that seems to be continuing. In the F&O space, the stock that really stands out is Motherson Sumi. It had that rally, but it looks like that rally is getting sold into. If you take yesterday's data and today's data put together, there's quite a bit of selling which has happened as far as that stock is concerned. And there's some buying happening in Manappuram Finance, that's up about 1.5%, Muthoot Finance as well, and some of these beaten down NBFCs. But Ashwini, your thoughts on market opening?
See, the difference between yesterday and today is that today we have